A crisis can shake our financial stability in several ways. You might be dealing with job loss, which can suddenly dry up your main income source. Over the next few scenes, we'll walk through strategies to help you address these challenges. We'll talk about emergency funds, budgeting, income generation, and even how to negotiate with creditors. Recognizing the problem is the first step towards finding a solution. It's about taking control of your financial situation, no matter how challenging it may seem. So let's roll up our sleeves and dive right in. Because as they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. In times of crisis, an emergency fund can be your financial lifeline. It's a pool of money set aside to cover unexpected expenses or to tide you over during periods of reduced income. The importance of an emergency fund cannot be overstated. It can be the difference between weathering a financial storm and sinking under the weight of debt. Now you might be thinking, how can I possibly save when I'm already struggling? Well, the truth is, it's not about the amount you save, but the habit of saving. Even the smallest amounts can accumulate over time. The key is to start small and be consistent. So how do you go about building an emergency fund? First, you need to determine how much you need. A good rule of thumb is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This can give you a comfortable buffer should you face a sudden job loss or unexpected bills. Next, consider setting up a separate savings account for your emergency fund. This helps keep your emergency savings separate from your everyday spending money. It also makes it less tempting to dip into these funds for non-emergencies. Once you've set a target and opened a separate account, the next step is to start saving. Look for areas in your budget where you can cut back. Maybe it's that daily coffee run or the streaming service you rarely use. Every little bit helps. And remember, it's not about how much you save at once, but the consistency of saving. Finally, automate your savings. Setting up automatic transfers to your emergency fund can take the guesswork out of saving and ensures you're consistently contributing to your fund. Building an emergency fund may seem daunting, especially during tough times. But remember, every penny counts, and any amount saved today can make a significant difference in the future. By taking small, consistent steps, you can build a financial safety net that can provide much-needed peace of mind during uncertain times. And so we conclude, a little saved today can be a big help tomorrow. A crisis calls for a crisis budget. It's a phrase you might have heard, but what does it really mean? In essence, it's about prioritizing and adjusting. It's about focusing on what's essential and cutting back on the non-essential. Let's start with the essentials. These are the expenses that keep a roof over your head, food on the table, and ensure you have access to necessary health care. These should be at the top of your budget. Next in line are your utilities and transportation costs. It's important to keep the lights on and be able to get around, especially if you're searching for a job or need to commute to work. Now, what about non-essential expenses? These are things like entertainment, dining out, or that gym membership you haven't used in months. It might be tough, but these are the areas where you can cut back. Remember, it's about survival, not comfort. But there's another aspect of crisis budgeting that often goes overlooked: flexibility. In a crisis, your financial situation can change quickly. Your budget needs to be able to adapt to these changes. This means regularly reviewing and adjusting your budget based on your current circumstances. One other tip: try to avoid making drastic changes all at once. Start small, cut back gradually, and see how you adjust. If you can manage without certain non-essentials, consider cutting them out completely. And finally, don't forget about your future. Even in a crisis, it's important to keep an eye on the road ahead. If possible, try to set aside a small amount for savings. It might not seem like much, but it can add up over time and provide a cushion for future emergencies. Budgeting during a crisis is about more than just making ends meet. It's about taking control of your finances and making informed decisions that will help you weather the storm. It's not easy, but with a bit of planning and a lot of determination, you can do it. A well-planned budget is your roadmap to financial stability. It's your tool for navigating the uncertain terrain of a financial crisis. So take that first step. Start planning your crisis budget today. When one door closes, we find ways to open others. As we navigate turbulent financial waters, finding additional income sources can be our lifeboat. It's about looking around and seeing what opportunities are available, even in the most unlikely places. Firstly, consider your skills and passions. Can you turn them into a profitable venture? For instance, if you're a whiz at graphic design, you could offer your services freelance. Or perhaps you have a knack for baking delicious treats. Why not start selling them at local farmers markets or online? Next, let's talk about the digital world. The internet has opened a plethora of opportunities for income generation. This could be anything from starting an online store to blogging to becoming a virtual assistant. The key is to find something that suits your skills and interests. Another avenue to explore is gig work. Platforms like Uber, Lyft, and TaskRabbit offer flexible ways to earn money on your own schedule. It might not be your dream job, but it's a way to keep the lights on while you figure out your next move. Then there's the sharing economy. Do you have a spare room you could rent out on Airbnb? Or perhaps you could rent out your car on Turo when you're not using it. These are great ways to turn unused assets into cash. Finally, don't overlook the traditional side hustles. Babysitting, dog walking, or mowing lawns might seem old school, but they're still effective ways to earn extra money. The key is to be creative and open-minded. Not every side hustle will make you a millionaire, but they can provide a much-needed financial cushion. And who knows, your side hustle might just turn into a full-time gig down the line. Remember, in times of financial difficulty, the goal isn't to find the perfect job. It's to find a way to keep going, to stay afloat until you can get back on solid ground. And that's where these side hustles and additional income streams come in. Diversifying your income can provide a much-needed financial cushion. So let's go out there and open those doors. Dealing with debt in a crisis can be overwhelming, but remember, it's not just you against the world. Creditors are often open to negotiation, especially during tough times. It's about reaching out, explaining your situation, and asking for changes to your repayment terms. Every little bit of leniency can make a big difference. At the same time, don't overlook government assistance programs and relief options. These are designed to provide temporary relief to those facing financial hardship. They can range from unemployment benefits to food assistance and even housing grants. The key is to research and apply for the ones you qualify for. Remember, there's no shame in seeking help. Everyone hits a financial rough patch at some point. It's how you handle it that truly counts. Remember, there's help out there. You just need to reach out. A crisis is tough, but it also provides valuable financial lessons. During these challenging times, we've learned the importance of having an emergency fund, budgeting, diversifying income, and seeking assistance when necessary. Yet these are not just survival tactics. They're long-term strategies for financial well-being. Let's use this crisis as a springboard to better financial habits. Start by consistently setting aside money for your emergency fund. Make budgeting a regular part of your life, not just during a crisis. Diversify your income streams, explore side hustles, and don't hesitate to negotiate with creditors or seek assistance when you need it. And remember, it's not about the size of the step you take, but the decision to keep moving forward. Your financial journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep making those smart financial decisions. Building financial resilience is a journey, and every step counts. I'll see you in the next video.